Hey Star Wars action figure fans, this is Darth Phoenix 619 coming at you with another topic video, this time on the expanded universe and the recent news that it is no longer considered canon for the most part. Didn't think I was going to be doing a topic video anytime soon after the one I did on scalpers, and just appreciate everyone who's watched that one and has left their comments. Great reading everyone's opinions on the matter, by the way. But I had one of my fellow subscribers and a good friend here on the tube, Gene, ask me about my thoughts on this. So who am I to say no to a good friend? And here I am doing a topic video. I haven't seen anyone else do it, so it'd be great to see what or hear what you guys think about all this. You know, for those who've been keeping up with the news. And basically, what has happened is Disney, I think it was yesterday, April 26th or so, or maybe the 25th. I can't remember. Been busy this week. They announced that the expanded universe, as seen in comics, novels, video games, and other sources, is for the most part not considered canon anymore. What is considered canon are the 6 films, the Clone Wars series, and the upcoming Rebels, and the upcoming episodes 7 through 9, along with some new novels that they recently announced. They've announced 4 novels, one written by James Luceno, which is called Tarkin, Lords of the Sith, something Air, I can't remember the title of it, and the other one being one based on almost like a prequel, some events set before the upcoming Rebel series. And you could always check that out on Facebook or Google it. Jedi Temple Archives has the titles of the books. So everything else that we've gotten in the many years since Star Wars was released is, for the most part, no longer considered to be part of the Star Wars universe, which, of course, has angered many fans. And for me, it's comes more as almost sad news. I mean, I'm disappointed by the fact that they're no longer considered canon. There are some possibilities that some things in the future may become canon, or some of the ideas, some of the characters seen in some of these sources may be adopted into the Star Wars universe. You know, there are some great characters and some wonderful things that have happened, that people have created some amazing stories to tie up loose ends from the films, from the Clone Wars, to connect films, you know, to tell about events and things that happened between the films. There have been some great resources on some characters, you know, that we saw in the movies, that we've seen in the movies. They built upon their backgrounds, you know, really touched upon their histories, and just in general Star Wars history, we've gotten a lot of great resources about how, you know, the Jedis came to be, how Sith came to be. And you know, it would be almost unfortunate if Disney or whoever works on these future projects doesn't borrow at least some elements from these great resources. So we shall see what the future brings. But I mean, I'm not going on a rampage, you know, ripping up things, ripping up my comics, or throwing my figures out the windows, or, you know, going on Disney's website and just sending angry letters. I mean, that's just not me. I am disappointed, but at the same time, I am kind of looking forward to what the future has to bring. You know, we'll see what they do with Star Wars. I mean, I'm a fan. I love Star Wars. I many things about Star Wars that I do enjoy. There are very few things that I dislike. So I am looking forward to what the future has to bring, but I am saddened to see some of this stuff not be part of the expanded universe. But what are you going to do? I mean, it's this stuff can continue living in our hearts. We can continue to enjoy these stories. We can continue to enjoy these action figures. Just because they're not considered canon anymore doesn't mean that they aren't part of the Star Wars mythos in our books. You know, and that's what sometimes we tend to forget, that I can enjoy all this. You know, there's so many people that create customs and fan fiction, and for them, that's Star Wars too. You know, this is Star Wars for me, in addition to the films and the television series. So I'm not gonna, you know, dwell on the fact that Disney decided that, well, this is no longer considered canon. You know, I understand why they do it. It was a business move. You know, they don't want any restrictions on their storytelling. They don't want to think about, does this, you know, follow the events in this story? You know, is this going to contradict what was seen in this video game? They don't need to worry about that. They don't want to worry about that. So, you know, they bought the rights to Star Wars. We're getting more Star Wars because of them. So I definitely understand why they decided to do that. And like I said, hopefully they borrow some elements from what we've seen. It would be great to see Mara Jade in episode 7. If we get her, awesome. If we don't, oh well. I mean, like I said, we'll see what the future brings. Um, so those are basically my thoughts. I mean, I am still, like I said, I'm still going to enjoy these video games, read these novels. There's many other comics and novels and games that I have yet to play, and I'm going to continue playing. And in my opinion, Revan will still be Revan, and one of the most killer Sith that we've seen in the Star Wars universe. Um, this will always be the first appearance of Asajj to me, and these are the events that I know as the Clone Wars prior to the Clone Wars series that we got recently, and of course Volume 2 tells the stories of the Clone Wars after the Clone Wars series. So that's going to be what I feel. Plagueis will always be that one Sith that really set the course of action for Phantom Menace, and this book has really made the Phantom Menace even more enjoyable to me. And it's just, I mean, these I'm going to continue loving and enjoying these stories. So, what do you think? What are your thoughts and opinions about all of this? And before I end this bit, I just kind of want to talk about some of my favorite things from the expanded universe. Of course, I haven't read or played everything out there, or seen everything out there, but of course, the Clone Wars, the micro animated series, I love. I actually enjoy this more, even though it's only about an hour and a half of viewing than the Clone Wars series that we got, the computer animated one, just because of the action, the animation, the music, some great visuals. I mean, some great, like I said, Asajj being introduced. She was one of my top 3 favorite characters. So I definitely love that. And see it if you haven't seen it already. Knights of the Old Republic. I had the first one. I don't know what happened to it, and this is the second one. I do enjoy the first one more than the second one, but we got it's action RPG, fantastic stuff. Knights of the Old Republic was set about 4,000 years prior to the events in the film, and we got characters like Revan, and it's just an amazing game. Great fun, great story, great character development. Really highly recommend you play both of them. They were out in Xbox, and they've been released on the PC and other systems. Darth Plagueis. I haven't read very many Star Wars novels, but Plagueis has been my favorite one so far. And like I mentioned, really ties in together with the Phantom Menace and what's basically happening behind the scenes, and great storytelling. And like I said, might read Tarkin because of Luceno, and many people enjoy this book, so I highly recommend it. Force Unleashed. I think that was a great part of the Star Wars universe when we first got this. Of course, there's a sequel, which isn't an okay game, but we got Starkiller. We got to see how the Rebel Alliance was formed, and just some amazing stuff. And then finally, we get the Legacy and the Invasion series, which 2 of the best, if not the best, comic books in the Star Wars Dark Horse line. And I've really enjoyed reading both of them. Amazing artwork, great stories, fantastic. So there you go. What are your favorite expanded universe comics, novels, games? What do you think about all this, and what are you looking forward to? So until next time, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this vid, and may the Force be with you.